Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to talk and explain some of the ways creation uses vibration and language. In this Great Awakening, your mind is going to be running through vast amounts of information to catch up to yourself. So when you're talking about the book of Revelation, just because it points to these what they call end times, or these light age of enlightenment, there's a lot of information that your brain wants to understand and wrap its head around, which can make you go a little bit crazy. And to help anyone that feels like you're going through that, like you're running through systems like a massive computer program, to comprehend yourself and slow down a little bit and keep up and not be exhausted, I'm going to give you some tools to make it actually light up, be more fun, and so that you can find your way back to your center. Because I say your center, you whip out here on this like trajectory of thinking, of highways of thought, and ultimately you're just coming back to a perfect moment. So to give you tools that lighten that load, that whole when Jesus said, "Yoke with me, my burden is light," his burden is just illuminating the world for you. Light it up, lighten up. So to see how the language can play into that, and you can laugh at it and you can have more fun with it rather than feeling weighed down and heavy and like, oh, this doesn't make any sense. The reason it doesn't make any sense is it doesn't make any sense. It makes sense in the sense of senses, experiencing light, see your world, taste your world. But the words can trip you up because, generally speaking, we have held on to singular definitions of a vibration, a phoneme, a tone. But if you hit the note C on a piano, it's consistently a C, whether you stick it in this song or that song. It fits wherever you put it in a neutral way. It's just the note. So with words, they also can work in different modalities, in different ways. It's up to you to decide whether or not you're going to hang your hat onto a definition that is really heavy and negative and judgmental and kitty cat-like, almost debilitating to your mind. So to start with that, I'm going to refer at sometimes to the Bible because I speak English, I live in the West, but and that story has a lot of good, uplifting, light explanations of reality that many people are familiar with. Again, I will say, please, the Bible is a beautiful book. I respect it greatly. I also see the lightness of the intelligence of the story that's meant to encourage us to not be so hard on not just ourselves, but each other. You can take it and make it a very meditative, quiet prayer for life, because for many people, that's the way they want to live. And that's all good. You can also take it and get off your own back and lighten up about Jesus's love of everyone, from saints and what other people deemed sinners. Back to language. So I had to make some notes because I'll just bounce all over the place if I don't. The simple saying, tools of the trade. Tools of the trade. The trade. What trade? Well, trade in the sense of it's what you do, but actually trade in the sense of energy. Words are tools of your trade. You're trading out your energy and it's coming back to you. So one of Jesus's quotes is, "It is not what a man puts into his mouth that defiles him. It is what comes out of it." What beliefs you project out into your world are what you will live by. Out of a man's heart proceeded his truth. So if you're going to take a definition of what you've perceived in reality and you're going to condemn it, then you got to carry the weight of that condemnation everywhere you go. You could look at that word in a different light and get a lighter definition, a more joyful definition, because a child doesn't condemn the tones. It's just babble. It's just nonsense until someone says, but this is the way it has to be. But it doesn't have to be that way. You can play with it. You can even just leave entire sections of the English language out of your vocabulary for a long time. So to play around, a couple of words. Paradigms, paradise. Well, you could have paradigms, like a paradigm shift, but you can also have a paradigms. You could have 20 cents. And in that paradigm and paradise, you have 20 cents, take the zeros off, now you have 2 ones on a pair of dice. And people talk about the alphabet. Well, it's not just an alphabet, it was also an alpha bet. A bet, a wager, a bet, a proof. Who's going to bet on God? God. Alphabet. So from alpha to omega, it's a wager, it's a bet. And be light about this, at the foot of the cross, what do? They cast lots for his garment, his light garment, his vehicle to be able to travel on the planet, to walk in a light body on the earth and be a part of it, to see whose turn it is. Casting lots, but not just lots in terms of a bet on the snake eyes. What are snake eyes? Many things, but basically you have, if you take one light beam, the sun, and you split it into the prism, you're going to have a lot of extensions of that one source, all of which you receive back into your own reality through your own personal perception of your eyes. God bet on himself. Pretty smart investment. And I laugh when I say omega because it almost sounds like, oh my God, omega. It's a mega bet. All right, so let that settle in and stay light about it because God has a great sense of humor too. And we have to give God credit where credit is due. Lots. So lots of people, lots of extensions of light, lots of light workers, lots of awarenesses taking in the light from the all-knowing, all-seeing eye of God. We'll start with that letter. One moment. One moment in time. With a firm foundation. Wherever he chooses to stand. You could put a little dot, which would be that lowercase I, which makes that floating pyramid foundation with me. Or with the capital I, it goes in there's the cross. It goes in left, right, laterally, out, but it's always firmly planted in itself. Okay. It doesn't make sense. When God answers Moses and says, I am that I am, I exist, it's unquestionable. It's undeniable. As you exist, it's unquestionable. It's undeniable. It's the simple, thank you, Bashar. It is the simple attribute of existence itself. It simply is. So God bet on himself. There's that song, I bet my life on you. And he bet his life on himself, but through all of us. That's how much not only does he trust himself, I don't know how to call it that God trusts God, but God also trusts you because you are an aspect, an extension of that, and you can handle this, you can do this. So some other words that are fun to play with, we talk about, hang on, Kitty. We talk about sons of God, but it's not just with the O, it's the U. The sun, the way we do it in the English language, we have this word, but it is the snake. Why would we call it a snake? We talk about kundalini. So you take a straight line. If this part of the line can't see this part of the line, it's going to have to bend a little bit to be able to observe. And there's your $sign. In God we trust. So it's this singular aspect of God in observance of himself and talk about a big joke on anybody who thought they had it all under control. I think God's behind it all, right? So the word sun, beautiful word, this is the same singular line, but observing like itself, but still firmly founded on a foundation, like that. And then with the sun being stars, so the stars, and the sons as in male children, but also daughters. But to carry the generation after generation after generation comes with the sons and the families. So the stars and the word see and see. You can see, and then the sea, the vast sea, S-E-A, of creation itself, of all one thing expressing and experiencing itself through so many perspectives, just over and over and over and over and over again. Amperstamping, and now this, and. Amperstamp. So when you take a definition of any word, realize that you can let that word reveal to you that there is a paradox, a paradoxical alternate definition of the same word. And depending on how you choose to use it, you can either be having a lot of fun or you can be feeling extremely weighed down with your definitions that most likely you learned from someone else. So see and splitting light. So when you split light through the prism, you have the rainbow, which is also the sea, S-E-A, of the atmosphere, that divine moist atmosphere, the wetness, the water, that singular tear of God that everyone sees in the eye of Horus, that heartbreak of the opened eye of God, seeing the pain and the suffering of how for millennia there's been a misinterpretation of that divine love. The tear is not sadness, but an immense amount of divine love. That water that loves itself and its extended light so much that will come back again and again and again and again, embodying itself to teach itself the parts of itself that aren't quite caught up to the beauty and the wonder and the love and the joy of each story. Your personal story is a story in co-creation with God through you. This unconditional force that will mirror back to you what you have asked for at the highest frequencies of love that you can handle at any given moment in time. And once you have that experience, then appreciate it, then you move on to another experience. All of which are valid, and none of which need to be judged, because you're learning about yourself, you're discovering yourself, you're doing many things. Some people are clearing out old energy, some people are building new paradigms for their own paradise, casting lots for like what their next adventure is going to be. So, be not afraid, I go before you always. Alphabet. Kitty, everybody, my kitty's blind, so she's wandering around, a little lost, she has dementia. So alphabet, be not afraid, I go before you always. Be not married, yoked, afraid. Be not, oh that's even better, afraid. Frayed, F-R, how do you spell frayed? F-R-A-Y, frayed cord. Don't be a frayed cord. You're yoked with me. I can see. I go. Be for you. I go because he be for you. But it's like a code. It's like a binary code. 01001000 SOS. Because to be able to send out those messages throughout the universe, and then when they bounce back to Earth, they come back in a binary code. How's that? 1. Singular sensation. I love that song. Expand it out. 0. See? Radiating. And when they come back, they loop back It's come back in some ways as a computer program, like a supercomputer, like a flower, like the lotus, okay? Does that make sense? Not totally. 100. So if it's everyone's been sending out signals to the universe, oh my God, we need help, we need help, we need help, and whoosh, the entire universe shows up to help people on Earth because she's in distress. So it's like, be not afraid, be not, be, just be, not, don't be afraid, extension cord, a life rope. The universe expanded before you caught up to it. I go, and I be for you. I'm for you, not against you. God is for you, not against you. If God is for us, who can be against us? All these language pieces work together in the same thing. And every possible reflective communication that the universe can send back to humanity without freaking it out. The stressors are not that there is something out there that is going to hurt anyone. The stressors are that, like a scared child, to whoosh, a light being explodes on your planet and people run and hide because they're terrified. So God or creation in its infinite gentleness for everyone has just slowly, gently soothed everyone into this soft waking up, like the rubbing of the back as your eyes open, so that it's not a shocker, so that it is calm and soothing. And so behind the scenes, all the songs have been written and shown up, and all the people have gotten to live their dreams, and all the pieces have fallen into place, and all the books have been written, and everything comes to the surface, so that creation can honestly say to anyone who's still freaking out, be still and know that God is God, that God is love. It's love. And all of these are toys, communication devices that we're supposed to use to make laughter and jokes. And I miss Robin Williams so much. I go back and I watch him because he got that groove. Robin Williams got that groove, that groove of like God you just roll with it, and you got it, and you got it, and you got it, and you got it, and it's just right there, all coming right back to you in a split second. Myriad of ideas and funny ways to look at ourselves and funny ways to appreciate who we are and enjoy each other's presence more without being so hard on each other and beating each other up. And we got lost, but we've been found. Kitty's lost. My cat has dementia. There's got to be something funny in there. Bless her heart. She just wanders around blind. And then you hold her and hug her and she bites you. So that's why I'm letting her be, because she does this all the time. And then she'll come and get a kiss or two. And then she runs away scared. She's blind. She's like the blind leading the blind. So now no one's blind. Blinders are off. Chill out. And the game of love is meant to be fun. It's meant to be joyful. And I can almost feel through the ethers that but there's all these problems in the world. Sure, that's fine. There have been problems on planet Earth for a really long time. There will be problems on planet Earth for a while. But there is no mandate that says you cannot be happy and joyful while finding the solutions, the answers along the way. I don't even know who thought of that. Like, you can't be happy and joyful like a child enjoying your day and your life and fulfilling your well-being while at the same time rolling forward into solutions. That is just logical. It's insanity to think that no one's allowed to get happy and have a great time and be joyful until everything's fixed. Who said that? Jesus said it's for joy. I come so that your joy may be made full and you may have life more abundantly.